Morning Edition business resumes today in a number of areas. On Sunday, only drive-through and takeaway services will be permitted. The national airlines begin international flights. Also extended hours for parks and beaches, and we'll take you into the Junction Shacks as COVID-19 impacts this aspect of the Bahamian culture. Those stories and more when the Morning Edition comes back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
We are doing everything we can to make sure that the patients are safe.
The Baptist Health System has an infrastructure and protocols to make sure that you continue to have the care that you deserve.
We're caregivers. This is what we signed up to do. We show up and we take care of those that are in need.
Providing care with my patients that I would want for my own family member.
Come into the hospital if you need that care.
What matters most is your health. Be proactive.
Good morning, I'm Desmond Saunders, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. Unsettled weather and fresh to moderate winds remain across the Bahamas as Tropical Storm Eta nears the southwest Florida coast and continues to move away from our area today. Meantime, tropical storm warnings remain in effect for the northwest Bahamas. Residents could expect widespread flooding across the archipelago and should be aware of dangerous sea swells and waves overtopping seawalls and coastal roads. Here now is your general outlook for the days ahead. Current conditions, Nassau, 75 degrees, light rain shower, and here's your extended forecast. All the streets remain wet, and we turn now to our Monday morning traffic commute with our Lloyd Allen. He's got it together. Morning traffic team. Good morning, Lloyd.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Yes, good morning, Desmond, and good morning, Bahamas. It's a great start to your Monday morning. Unfortunately, it's very wet on the outside. That's a result of that tropical storm or Hurricane Eta that passed through our area, causing a lot of flooding here in the capital. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but we begin with Sergeant Cressenia Johnson from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, giving us an update on traffic matters over the weekend.
A pleasant good morning to you and a pleasant good morning, Bahamas. All over the weekend period, we had 3 traffic accidents, but most recently this morning, we had a vehicle that was overturned, as well as an incident involving a tractor that occurred on yesterday that left the operator injured. At this time, we have 7 persons who remain hospitalized as a result of being involved in a traffic accident.
Now, Officer Johnson, this morning it's going to be a bit challenging for many drivers. We know that when it rains heavily here in the capital, there tends to be a lot of flooding and some hidden potholes throughout the island. What advice can you offer to our motorists today?
Well, just on those potholes, just last week, I even lost 2 tires to potholes there in Pinewood. But we're just advising as much as possible. We've seen that even last week with all the rain, we have had on one particular day, 7 accidents, and all 7 of those accidents came in with persons being injured, both drivers and passengers of those vehicles, especially the children. We had a child that was also injured. So as much as possible, we are then advising the general public, yes, we know we are faced with a number of challenges. Even now with the rain held up in this area, the road is, you're still undergoing wet road conditions. As a result of that, you want to make sure that you control your speed while traveling on the street, as well as make sure that your vehicle is in a the right condition to be traveling in these type of conditions. That is having your windshield wipers working, having your headlights working, making sure that your tires are in proper order to be on the street. A lot of times we neglect those tires, and that is so important when it comes to braking. So as a result of that, we end up sliding again and having to not be able to avoid these traffic accidents. So as much as possible, maintain your distance, watch out for your tires, keep them in a particular fashion in order to be on the street.
And my final question, we didn't get a chance to talk about it initially, but I know that what tends to happen sometimes with some motorists while on the streets in these kinds of conditions, there does tend to be some damage to vehicles. What route should motorists take if their vehicle is damaged and they're looking for some compensation?
Well, for the most part, we have the Ministry of Work. They have some hotlines available to you. You can find them in your regular directory, or you can go online and put up their telephone numbers, and they will guide you as to the process it takes to get your vehicle, get your compensation. So once you complete the process, and they'll be readily available to assist you.
And of course, that's been a look at your Monday morning traffic coming in from the Prince Charles Drive, just across the street from Doris Johnson High School. For the morning edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Turning now to national news, key restrictions are being lifted as COVID numbers dip. The 24-hour weekend lockdown in New Providence and Abaco ends today. The weekend curfew in New Providence and Abaco is now 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. And now the weekday curfew on New Providence and Abaco is 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Ubin announced in his national address Sunday that curfew also applies to Grand Bahama on weekdays and weekends. The changes also allow for the return of various businesses.
The retail sector, including pharmacies, may resume in-store services Monday to Saturday, following the protocols prepared by the Bahamas Federation of Retailers and certified by the Ministry of Health. On Saturdays, food stores may be opened to the public. On Sundays, food stores may carry out restocking. Outdoor dining may resume at restaurants and at fish fries Monday to Saturday. On Sunday, only drive-through and takeaway services will be permitted. At hotels, indoor dining may also resume. Beaches and parks will now be open on Saturdays and Sundays from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please, remember that groups are limited to 5 people and that beaches and parks will be closely monitored by the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit. We continue to consult with health officials to determine the appropriate time for the safe reopening of gyms, spas, and other elements of our economy.
With 117 cases on the island of Eleuthera, and health officials acknowledge that residents there are not adhering to the COVID-19 health and safety protocols, the Prime Minister announced new measures for mainland Eleuthera that start today. The Prime Minister added that Harbor Island and Spanish Wells are exempted from the new restrictions.
A 24-hour weekend curfew will be implemented starting 6 p.m. on Fridays and ending 5 a.m. on Mondays. During the 24-hour weekend curfew, businesses will not be permitted to operate, including grocery stores, restaurants, and pharmacies. A new updated emergency order will provide further details as it relates to specific provisions during the 24-hour weekend curfew. During the week from Monday to Friday, a daily curfew will be in effect from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. However, commercial businesses will operate during the non-curfew hours. The health team has recommended the closure of all bars. As a result of this recommendation, all bars and restaurants connected to bars are to be closed. Residents should not operate bars from their residencies. All private and public social gatherings are prohibited.
Health officials clearing the air on the protocols for persons returning to work following a COVID-19 exposure. Health Minister Wentworth Wells says there's been concern expressed by employees who say some employers have asked for proof that they are able to return to work. According to the minister, some have gone a step further, requesting employees provide their medical records for supervisors' review.
It's important to note that a person does not have the legal right to request the medical records of a patient without their written consent. Similarly, an employer does not have the right to demand to see the results of an employee's COVID-19 test without the employee's express written consent.
Now, the Minister of Health also explains a course of action employees or employers can legally pursue.
However, the employer can request a letter from the Ministry of Health that verifies that the employee has been cleared to return to work. It is recommended that once the Ministry of Health has cleared a person from quarantine or isolation, no further testing is required for them to attend work. In such cases, an employee is issued a letter advising of their suitability to return to work. Such a letter will have a coat of arms, a file reference number, a valid signature from the physician in the National Surveillance Unit as the designee of the Chief Medical Officer.
Also this morning, we can tell you that the Ministry of Tourism has made a decision regarding those travelers who are returning home but were impacted by the inclement weather on the weekend. The ministry says those individuals whose flights were canceled on Sunday will be able to use their current Bahamas Health travel visa to return home on the first available flight departing Miami. It was also pointed out that due to the delay, the COVID-19 RT-PCR test for some persons would have also expired. The ministry also notes that the travel unit will accommodate persons with legitimate requests for deviation in such circumstances. Also, the Nassau Airport Development Company resuming services this morning at the Linden-Pendleton International Airport. The operations were set to return at 7 a.m. Air traffic suspended services around noon at LPIA on Sunday due to Tropical Storm Eta. The traveling public is encouraged to contact their respective airlines for flight updates and information. A listing of all airlines and their contacts can be found on LPIA's website at www.nassalpia.com. While the national airline Bahamas Air announcing the resumption of its international flight service on November 15th. The international flights will resume in 3 phases, with the services being offered between Nassau, Fort Lauderdale, as well as its Freeport to Fort Lauderdale route. It will also resume weekly routes to Haiti beginning November 22nd. Flights will operate into Miami, Providenciales, and 3 other destinations, including Cuba. Now, Phase 3, beginning November 29th, will see routes operating for West Palm and Orlando. All travelers are reminded that they must possess a valid health travel visa along with a negative PCR test. Well, we're just getting started this morning. Coming up, another investment in education. The morning edition comes back. Stay with us.
Guess who's back? Yours truly on the OT. Starting Monday, November 9th at 9 a.m. on 1540 a.m. 104.5 FM, and on the ZNES Television Network. Starting once again November 9th. We'll be going Mondays and Wednesdays. We may be in COVID, but nothing stops this show. The OT is back.
Successful parenting through COVID-19. Being at home with your child for a long time can feel stressful, especially when they misbehave. Children can also feel stressed as their daily routines have changed. Manage negative behavior through creating schedules, planning indoor activities and outdoor activities, giving responsibilities, and rewarding good behavior. All children can be mischievous. You can discipline without yelling or physically harming by giving timeouts, taking away privileges, and even giving chores. It's okay to take a break. Pause for 10 seconds, breathe for 5 seconds, then give a calm response. Listen to your children's feelings and be supportive. Avoid unhealthy behaviors like drinking alcohol, smoking tobacco, or risky sexual behavior. Feeling overwhelmed? Contact our hotline at 819-7652 or any of the numbers that appear on your screen.
Welcome back. Well, the government keeping its $55 million commitment to support Bahamian entrepreneurs and small businesses. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubertman, has announced during his national address Sunday that through the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center, a new small business grant program has been launched to provide grants of up to $5,000 to Bahamian entrepreneurs to start a business or to expand their small business. The grants or funds do not have to be repaid.
To date, the Small Business Development Center, SBDC, has received over 400 applicants toward the $500,000 that has been budgeted for the program. The response has been so positive that the SBDC has shifted its budget to add an additional $500,000 to this program to bring the total allocation to $1 million. Through this program, individual entrepreneurs and micro businesses will get equipment, supplies, and materials to allow them to start a business or to give their enterprise a much-needed boost. I am pleased to say that shortly the SBDC will launch its youth program that will provide grants, loans, training, and business support for young Bahamians ages 18 through 30.
Corporate giant Leno Corporate Services, Leno Learning Link, donated $123,000 to the Ministry of Education to ensure that students at a number of public schools were able to continue learning under COVID-19 conditions. Now, their goal is to equip as many scholars with the learning tool, but as this corporate partner stepped up, so did a number of other organizations, including the United Nations-based International Organization for Migration. Jan Wedgam, who represented the organization, says the gift of $40,000 is slated for a number of students from the St. James Road area in Camp Road.
We're very happy because this donation that we can do has been very recently being established. Actually, it is a donation which we get from the Citibank in the United States, which has been channeled through us for the donation here of tablets to the children in the Bahamas. And thank you very much for collaboration, because this way we can assist many more children than we would go separately because the conditions, because of the scale, and because of the tremendous effort are so fantastic. We're very happy to accompany and to partner with the organization and also to collaborate with the Ministry of Education.
Now, with a number of principals present, the donations were well received. Representative of the Boys Brigade, Everett Mackey, which also donated $15,000, expressed thanks to all donors.
Boys Brigade is about reaching young men and helping them to be the best that they can be. Our goal and our trust is to put one of these electronic instruments in the hands of our young men before they pick up a deadly instrument. The world is changing, and the world has already changed to a point whereby we must use these electronic devices. So I encourage and implore all of us who are hearing this request today to please assist our young people wherever they may be throughout the length and breadth of this Bahamas.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Darren Henfield, is extending congratulations to U.S. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris for their historic win at the polls after last week's presidential elections. The minister has sent a diplomatic note congratulating the incoming administration.
I believe the Prime Minister spoke yesterday in a statement congratulating the Biden-Harris administration for their election. President-elect and Vice President-elect. I believe he also indicated in his statement that the Bahamas and the United States have been friends and strategic partners for a very long time, and we expect to continue in that vein. I'd also like to congratulate the American people for their demonstration of being the bastion of democracy as they become known in the world, to be able to peacefully go and exercise their rights of democracy and to vote.
Enfield also says government has no concern over the pending change in leadership that will see incumbent President Donald Trump exit office.
Our strategic relationship and partnership economically and security is perennial. We have a symbiotic relationship that endures to the benefit of both countries. We expect no changes. We expect to continue to strengthen and deepen our relationship with the United States of America.
Well, due to the current pandemic, the Royal Bahamas Police Force had to make changes to the process and protocols for military funerals. In response to a video complaint on social media, Commissioner Paul Roll notes the disappointment those changes would have caused to families of fallen officers. Mr. Roll pointed out that a request was made for a military funeral regarding the deaths of 3 recent officers, but the response was not favorable from the competent authority at that time. Instead, Mr. Rowe says families are invited to headquarters and presented with the Bahamian flag and offered condolences on behalf of the men and women of the force. A similar ceremony is set for today for the family of Sergeant Jefferson Kemp. The commissioner says the force appreciates the services of those officers and stands ready to assist families. He also notes that the force would not wish to add any further hurt to any loss, as the officers are part of the force's family and friends. The services of those officers are also aired live on the police force Facebook page. While you're watching the best show on morning television, the Morning Edition, we'll visit a junkery shack right after this break. Stay with us.
Guess who's back? Yours truly on the OT. Starting Monday, November 9th at 9 a.m. on 1540 a.m., 104.5 FM, and on the ZNES Television Network. Starting once again November 9th. We'll be going Mondays and Wednesdays. We may be in COVID, but nothing stops this show. The OT is back.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. In the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Well, it's November, and usually around this time of the year, Junkanoo Shacks will be busy with practice sessions on a Sunday and Thursday nights full of energy. But, oh, how things have changed in 2020. Charles Fisher has more and provides us with an update.
During this time of the year, this one family shack would have been buzzing with persons engaged in the craft, getting ready for bait. This year, no bait, not even Junkanoo practice.
It killed your mood, really. Because you're so used to camaraderie in the shack all day, you know. You could be here working with people, helping them get their costumes out, you know, getting ready for the parade, but ain't none of that happening right now.
Teron Davis, better known as Boppy in the Junkanoo world, thinking about option 2.
Listen, let me tell you, what I was trying to do was plan to go away. A lot of people stopping here just to come around and hang out and talk Junkanoo. They don't even rush, but they got the energy. And people coming in here and asking me for information on stuff I don't even know about, like what we could do for Christmas. What about the online Junkanoo? I don't know nothing about that. I don't know how to do that. The thing is, if it ain't being a rush, I don't want to be around here, man.
This has definitely been a rough year for Junkanooers. No summer Junkanoo, no Bahamas Carnival, no nothing.
I never thought we'd had this, because from my existence, I always been in the shack during Junkanoo. My downfall with my family was always, man, you wouldn't even come and eat some food, you know, but thank God I married a lady and got her into Junkanoo, so my family is involved, so it isn't as bad for me as other guys. I can spend time home, but we just enjoy it in the shack, you know, and then we go to Bay Street and finish it off, but it ain't gonna be like that this year, you know. The Junkanoo thing for guys, a lot of guys, that's a getaway. So, you know, that's how they express themselves. And even if they don't have money and we was doing Junkanoo, we would find a way to get to Bay.
However, during this downtime, he has found a way to stay busy and make some little change along the way.
I design a lot of costumes for different people in different aspects. Costumes for homes, for pageants, you know, different thing, ornaments. So I get by a little through that. The sign I'm doing for a store, and I start to tap into different things I could get to, because I know how to find ways to make money. If you look back here, I have a Junkanoo man wrap up in the back here. This is for a lady's house. She's building a home. It's gonna put that in her front room. So, and I have a couple more pieces to design for her. So I'm hoping that she's gonna hurry up with her home so I could at least, that could carry me through Christmas.
Well, no one can't tell 3-year-old Anwar Ferguson there is no Junkanoo this year. He is getting ready for bait.
I beat my drum.
All right, give me a little tour. That's it. Give me a little tour. Come on, come on. Hey. They come in for the morning edition. I'm Charles Fisher.
Thanks very much, Charles. And that's going to do it for the morning edition. Thank you so much for spending your Monday morning with us. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS News your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of our team. Have a great week and a safe day.